So I do want to make this quick video just to talk about this because I wouldn't be a real. I'm not a journalist, but I wouldn't be a real news kind of outlet. Not really. I just go on Twitter and then find tweets. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of shitful, but you know, I thought I wanted to talk about this because I see not very many outlets talking about this at all, like in the slightest, and I feel like it's a very, very important situation. So I'm not gonna make you watch this entire 20-minute video, but if you are interested in watching the 20-minute video, I might leave a link down in the description. I don't even know if I'm verified, like, fully on YouTube or not. I don't know if I can leave links. But I guess I'll chuck the full URL up on screen. That's probably the best way I can do it. For the original clip, this is the actual English version, so, and actively what's happened. So, this is Pyro1. Go check him out on Twitter. This is his tweet. So, used to be the #1 PlayStation account on the planet. Sony banned his ACC for a while, and employees of Sony decided to leak his personal information. A lot of people and sites are refusing to talk about this because they are scared. Sony, no response from Sony yet. Horrible. So pretty much what's allegedly happened, and it has happened, but I'm still going to have to put allegedly because YouTube, stuff like that, I don't want to be sued. So, some stuff, his account's been banned a couple times, all that stuff, but really the most important thing is a PlayStation employee has allegedly sold his information. Sold his information to a person. We don't know who the fuck it is, but all you really need to know is his information has pretty much been sold to someone. A PlayStation employee was the one who sold it, and as what this says, he's been banned across ACC. His Sony banned his ACC for a while, and employees of Sony decided to leak his personal information. So, leaking personal information, selling personal information like data and all that stuff. Sony banning him, Sony not replying to the situation, Sony not making statements, and outlets in general not making statements, like, you know, IGN, Gamer Rant, and like hundreds of these like outlets and people who talk about gaming news, and these big news outlets pretty much are refusing to talk about the situation.
Let me introduce myself for the
This is
people
him
who don't
introducing
know who
himself.
hakoom is, or hakoom, like you call me.
I didn't say his name because I couldn't actually pronounce it. I'm not racist, this is true.
My name is Abdul Hakam, aka Hakoom, my nickname. I started gaming back in the 80s. I started with like Sega, Nintendo, and the other old consoles, retro consoles. As soon as the PlayStation 1 dropped, I loved that console. Got hooked up to the PlayStation brand, and I loved it. Their games, their consoles, everything was perfect about them. I had the PS2, and until the PS3, I created my online account, Hakoom, back then in 2007. That's like 16, 17 years ago. And then Sony released the trophy patch. So I started hunting trophies. I enjoyed hunting trophies until I became the #1 trophy hunter in the world in 2009.
Yeah, so I don't know if you actually heard that because my audio's been kind of playing up recently. If it cut, then you probably didn't hear it, but if it didn't, then, well, you heard it. But yeah, he's the #1 PlayStation account across the entire like PlayStation Network. He's got, I believe he still holds the record for the #1 most held trophies of all time. Well, did until his account got taken, pretty much. But yeah, I don't want to make this too long. I wanted to make this a quick one. It will be a quick one. But yeah, it's very sad news. It's horrendous. PlayStation isn't talking about it, and yeah, just go show him some support. I guess Xbox now has a brand new player and shit. So, yeah. Well, Xbox is just as bad, but not quite. Yeah. Nah, this is a pretty fucking horrendous situation, and I guess I'll keep you updated as more information comes out. There's a lot more details to the situation, but this could go on for like days. Like, I could go on for hours about all the information. There's been leaked messages between people, PlayStation employees, him, all that stuff. Like, there's a lot. Some people tried to claim that his account was banned because, like, he did something or he used exploits or I don't know. But I'm not here to really get into that information. But the outlier is his data has pretty much been sold or has been leaked, and PlayStation's doing nothing about it, which is horrendous. It's bad, But yeah, I'll keep you up as more information comes out, and yeah, all good. I just need to make this clear because clearly people's data really isn't safe on PlayStation. But yeah, all good. So I want to add this in here while I was actually editing the thing, because I came to the realization I didn't really talk about, well, your personal data too much in the entire video, so I thought I'd add it while editing the video. So I just want to say, when it comes to your personal information, this is a situation where his data's pretty much been sold, or it's being sold, it's being leaked, PlayStation's banned him, it's all this stuff, heaps of shit. You know, it's obviously a horrible situation, but you're here because of the thumbnail. Is your data safe? And right now, and some people might not like this conclusion, that's okay. But the conclusion right now is we don't know. We really don't know if your data's safe or my data's safe. I've got a PlayStation account. I've had it for years, you know what I mean, ever since the PS3 era. I don't know if my data's safe. I feel like it's a situation where if you're a public figure and you've got a big PlayStation account, your data's not safe, even in the slightest, because your account's got value to it. It's like a I guess iShowSpeed's account would be a good example of that. Like his PlayStation account is known, it's a big account, it's a popular account because it's owned by a popular person. It's valuable. It's like it's like Shroud's Twitch account, you know what I mean? That's valuable. It's got his name and everything like that, personal information, you know, etc., etc. But this is a situation where no matter what you do, you can't really make your data safer. Like you just can't. Like what comes to mind for me personally is I guess you could do 2FA. Make sure 2FA is activated. That'll somewhat keep your data a little bit safer. But realistically, and this might be harsh, or this some people might not like this, but there's no real way to really know if your data is going to be safe or not. We don't know. You know, like we're talking about people that no matter how many times you change your password, change information, no matter how many times you do that, you know, they're always going to know what your password is. They're always going to know what everything is. You know, you could change your password, you could change anything, and they'll always know, and they'll always have access to it. They'll always know what it is. So it's very sad. It's very concerning because this is a situation where Sony's not talking about it. Nothing. You know. And these are people who they're not just from the outside. It's not like a hack or a data breach where you change your password and then they don't have it anymore. These are people who know your password all the time. You change it, they know. You know, you don't change it, they know. They know your password no matter what you do. So really the conclusion is, I guess, just make sure you have 2FA on. Make sure you don't have any sort of, like, I want to make this very clear. Make sure you have 2FA on. You know, that's one way. And then the second way to keep your shit safe, and this isn't going to keep your data safe, but what it will do, take your credit card information off of there. You know, they probably have them backed up in their systems, something stupid like that. 100% they do. But take your credit card or debit card information off of your PlayStation. Make sure it's not on there. Do not keep it on there. Try to keep as little linked to PlayStation as physically possible. Don't link your Steam account. Don't link an Epic Games account. Don't link anything. You know, don't make sure PlayStation isn't linked to anything externally. Make sure your credit card or debit card information is not in your PlayStation, and make sure you have 2FA on. These things are very minimal, but it'll stop it where if your data does get breached or someone does sell your information, at least they then won't have access to, well, everything else, like your Twitch account or maybe your X account or, you know, Steam account or whatever. So I'd recommend cutting all of those off. Don't link anything for the time being until Sony makes a statement. Make sure you don't keep your credit card information in there. If you just have to purchase an item, put it in there, purchase the item, do not save it. Don't save it. Do not do that. Bad idea. But yeah, this is a very concerning situation and really fucked up. I just really need to add that in, you know, while editing this, because I know I said this earlier, but I realized I didn't really talk too much on personal data. So those are just some of the things you could do that would keep some information safe. And again, it's not even keeping your actual PlayStation account safe. You know, no matter what you do, they'll always know what your password is. And I know I said that earlier, but I need to make that very clear. Just make sure, in case something like this happens, you have as little as physically possible outside of your PlayStation account connected to other things, like your Epic Games, like your Twitter account, anything, Twitch account, everything. Make sure nothing is linked, because they know that information then. They have authorization, I think I said that right, over everything. Just just stay safe, be careful. You know, again, this won't save your PlayStation account, but at least it'll save your accounts outside of PlayStation. So always stay safe. Make sure you have 2FA activated, and do not keep your credit cards or debit cards in your PlayStation. Horrible idea. Don't do it. Until Sony makes a statement, I would recommend not linking anything. I wouldn't link your PlayStation to your Steam account, PSN account, or anything. Keep it completely isolated in its own field. But yeah, that's all good. I just needed to add that. All good.